guys, once again, Gentleman Jim the Tailor. The tailor. Sometimes I ask myself, why you want to become a tailor? And then good things happen to you. You meet a
dressmaker. I'm sure I'm not the highlight.
You're the highlight.
I'm sure making clothes for James Brown had to be quite the highlight, and all those other celebrities.
You're my celebrity.
You're kind. Hi guys, you've come, of course, to another edition of the Tailor and the Dressmaker show. We're super excited once again to be before you, to be in front of your computers, laptops, smartphones. Someone even mentioned that she asked that we should make a podcast because she likes to listen to us on her way to work. I thought that was so sweet.
Oh.
I can't remember your name, but you're a sweetheart for that. Kisses to you. Anyhow, this show is going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We are still sticking with the theme about pants making, and that is in light of Mr. Jim's upcoming release of his pants fitting course, which is great. Filming wrapped up pretty much today. So we are getting that prepared for you guys, and that will launch on the 15th. Pre-ordering is available. I will leave a link below, so please pre-order. Many of you have. You're pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. And it's over over 2 hours plus of great material.
A lot of information.
A lot of great stuff. A lot of stuff you probably hadn't seen or thought of because it is from a master tailor's perspective. So definitely more information on that. Apologies about last week's show. I did a Periscope video. That was our show, and I had some technical difficulties. So if you didn't get to see that, apologies. We didn't forget about you. I just had some problems. But anyway, we're here today, and we are here to talk about how to select the proper fabric for pants. So we're going to kind of give a technical perspective on what is our thought process in determining what type of fabric we need to pick per pants project. So take it away, Mr. Jim. What is your thoughts? How do you approach the subject?
I approach it in several different ways. One of the ways I approach how to make a pair of pants is what occasion you're going to wear them to.
Yep, that's true. Because that does determine fabrication to a large degree. Absolutely.
Where are you going to wear them?
Absolutely.
Why are you going to wear them? Are they going to be a everyday pair of pants type or special occasion type? And this is where people don't think about that. Is it a special occasion that I'm going to wear this pants so it's going to get worn very sparingly? Or is it a pair of pants that I'm going to wear on a consistent basis? Now, a few pointers, a few tips. If it's a special occasion pair of pants that you're going to buy, you can buy at times a more expensive, a more elaborate fabric.
Yeah.
Because what happens, and listen to me very carefully, with pants. Pants are the most worn item out. And I say that is because you do a lot of sitting in it, standing, squatting, whatever.
Thighs expand.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you get the right fabric for the occasion.
That's right. So what you're saying, and before I interrupt you, is that in addition to just thinking about where you're going to wear them, you have to think about the utility and the usefulness of how they need to be worn too.
Yeah.
You got to keep that in mind. You're absolutely right.
Reason. Fabric doesn't really wear out unless you rub it on something. Okay, it doesn't wear out. It gets cleaned out.
That's true.
It gets cleaned out.
That's true.
And what by that I mean, the more you wear a garment, the more you sweat in the garment, the more your body chemistry is in that garment. So you have to keep cleaning it. So if it's a special occasion pair of pants, there are times when you could wear it, hang it up, maybe 4, 5, 6 months later, wear it again. And sometimes you can get 3 or 4 good wearings out of it before you have to clean it.
Versus like if you're wearing a pair of dungarees or something like that.
Where you wear daily or once a week or twice a
washing.
week. Constantly cleaning
That's
that.
Right.
That's what destroys the fiber. So what you do is, now what I look for is, if it's a good, solid wearing pants, this is a twill weave. It's called a gabardine twill. Gabardine is not the fabric. Gabardine is just the weave. But it's a good twill fabric. It will wear, it will hold up.
It's very durable.
Yeah, very durable. Very, very durable. So a fabric like this, you can get a lot of wear out of it. You can get a lot of cleanings out of it because it's stronger. Why? Because the weave is tight. From there, you can go to something with a little softer weave. It's not quite as tight. You can wear them a lot. It's durable as well, but it is a little softer than that. So what will happen is this will start to give a little more and stretch it a little more. So at times you have to be careful. But if you're not wearing it every day or so often, then that's okay. And then you have a fabric. This is a real soft weave.
Yes.
It's almost like a basket weave, okay? This will wear out if you wore it on a regular base a whole lot faster because it's so soft. Now, a fabric like this needs a lot of strength adding points to that. And in some of my other videos and methods, I talk about where the stress points are. But this is a very, very, very soft weave fabric. So chances of it going before one of these two is a lot greater. And how about you?
Well, no, and I love your assessment. Absolutely. And we actually got into a conversation a little bit earlier that it's funny when you think specifically, there's a difference between, of course, thinking of like the tailored pair of pants versus like a fitted pair of pants. So you got to keep in mind, Mr. Jim is a master tailor. So the way he sees it is like the way it's tailored and sculpted to the body. We dressmakers also use the term kind of interchangeably, but I know when it comes to pants fitting specifically, I do prefer a fitted pant, and I like to think of it as tailored, but there's a slight little difference there, and it's just because of maybe different types of fabric. So my spin on the same fabrics he's using would be a little bit different. So I like to approach picking fabric as almost like a science experiment. That's my science background, maybe it's just the way I think. But I like to determine, and Mr. Jim actually does the same thing, and actually all good sewers, worth their grain of salt, you always think about the end product before you begin. You have to. So you think about not only the pattern that you're using and then the elements to the pattern, what if it has pleats, darts, anything. And then you have to think about how the fabric itself is going to actually translate those elements. If you're a thicker woman, and then, sometimes pleats aren't really good, so, most women will stay away from that. But if you do have to put a dart or something, and you don't want that to look thicker, you want to refrain from using a fabric that might be a little bit denser or thicker, because that's going to add a little bit of weight to your body. Also, like, again, I like to make more fitted pair of pants, so I would use a fabric like this. This is really nice, but the first thing I would do is just make sure I would see how it drapes. So I always like to rub things over my hand and kind of let them fall off. A more structured pair of pants, it doesn't really have to drape as well because it's just cascading off. But with this, you can see the way it kind of holds and it folds a little bit. I like to think about the way it glides off the roundest part of your body, which for most people is their derriere. And you just have to think about, is it going to cup under? Is it just going to hang? Something a little bit looser or just woven a little differently will probably do that without kind of giving any divots. It will slide over. So I always love to kind of fondle my fabrics. We all do it. We like to touch them, see them, kind of see how they're going to react, respond. Because I like to think when I get up or I sit down, how is this pants going to look on my body? And for the most part, I was telling him, I tend to choose, if it's a cotton-based fabric or polyester, it usually has some spandex in it, just because I like the feel and the comfort. And I like not having to try to overfit. I can just fit and then know that it's going to compensate very well and mold to my body, but that's my choice. But then it depends. Some women might want to do like the harem pants or the joggers, might use something a lot lighter, a lot flowier. You just want to think about what it is that I want to achieve, and then will this fabric choice best do it. Even some lighter fabrics aren't good on every body type.
They're not.
If you're a thicker woman, or even if you're thin and you're wearing something really light, you just want to think about it. Fabrication, textiles, choosing the appropriate ones will make all the difference.
Let me say this too. In your choice of fabrics, as we were talking about, you have to make sure that the fabric that you choose, that when you seam it and it pulls, that it doesn't pull away from your stitch.
Yes.
So you have to be real careful. That's why I say with a looser fit fabric, you have to be very, very careful, because when you start sitting and bending and all that in, all of a sudden the seam, the thread in the seam will pull the fabric open.
And you've seen it. People have seen it where it kind of started tearing away.
That's where the reinforcement part has to come in.
Now, how do you do your reinforcements?
I do my reinforcement several different ways. A pair of pants like this, that are real loose like that, I will line the whole pants. Now, in lining the pants, the pressure is on the lining, not on the pants.
Absolutely. I like that.
If I don't line it, then I take some type of interfacing, woven, and I'll cut strips, and in cutting the strips, I'll put them along the seam line, so when I stitch the seam in it, it is held on both sides of the seam. So now the stitch won't pull it out.
Yes.
That's the way I do mine.
Absolutely. I was just thinking along the same lines. Definitely want to seal that seam line so that it has some strength. You're absolutely right. And people have seen it, just kind of the ripping. You don't want to spend good money on fabric and then have it shreds.
fall
Okay, so you want to pick very good quality fabrics. You don't want to skimp in that department because you can bite you in the butt a little bit later. You can end up with fabrics that fade when they're treated or cleaned. The weave is off. They end up twisting. I actually bought an embossed jean material from a fabric store only to have it wash away when I washed it.
Wow.
So just be careful of all your sources.
Yeah.
And any more tips, Mr. Jim?
No, I think that covers it. Like we were saying, just be careful choosing your fabric. Choose it for the occasion.
That's right.
Choose it for the wearability. And if you do that and you make the precautions when you start to sew it up,
that's right.
that we're talking about, the stress, the this, the that, the pull, the twisting. If you make those precautions and you do those things up front, you'll be all right.
Absolutely. And, go out there and experiment. I like to think of our sewing studios, spaces as our sewing labs. Try some stuff. The best way to experiment is to go to an actual store and look at ready-to-wear pants.
That's right.
Fill those. You like the fabrication, and go find the fabric. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
That's it.
Okay, with that being said, we're going to go hail and be out, in our usual thing. God's giving you great gifts, spectacular gifts. You are a wonderful human being. Please go out. You can't keep all that to yourself. Go share that with someone.
Share it.
Also, get that course is on special for pre-ordering. His pants fitting course is phenomenal. You will love that. We will see you again next week. I am Victoria Baylor, Dressmaker, signing off.
Gentleman Jim the Tailor, over and out.
See you guys. Bye.
Right now.